his pediatric specialist, and he just rolled his eyes, and that's the response that so many people get. He rolled his eyes and just told us it wasn't going to work. And then he gets his high-powered buddy on the phone, and he tells us that the Atkins diet, no, I never said Atkins, I said ketogenic, but he tells us, the Atkins diet is for fat people, stick to the plan. Well, I just told you what their plan was, which was palliative care until he died.
Right.
So it's like, well, we want to do this. I actually had to kind of sign off on a care plan. It was all very intimidating to stand up to these doctors that at one point were, I was looking at as his only chance. To stand up to them and say we were going to do something as ridiculous as a diet. So we got his local oncologist and his pediatrician to medically monitor this, because I was scared to death. Nobody in 2007 was going to support this. And there was all this information out there in the epilepsy world on how to do this, but, not in the cancer world. So we were a huge liability. Nobody was going to take that on. But I got a hold of the protocol, and I got help from a couple of moms who were doing this for their children with epilepsy. And I had the Johns Hopkins book, and I had an Atkins carb counter, and we went ahead with it for a 3-month trial. And none of us were expecting what we saw at 3 months, which was this tumor had finally stopped growing. In fact, it had shrunk back from the margins, which we didn't even think was possible, and was just smaller all around, 10 to 15% smaller.
Wow.
Which doesn't sound like a lot when you're talking about a tumor the size of an orange, but this was the first time we'd seen anything positive. So you could just imagine what it felt like to get this news. But I also went, this is great, but I don't really understand why this happened. And I wasn't getting many answers as to why this had happened. I wasn't even getting answers on how to do this, maybe how we could tweak this to make it better for cancer. And I got the Charlie Foundation nutritionist to talk to me on the phone. And in 90 minutes, I had decided that I really needed to go to school for this. So that's what I did. I went into a graduate program, a very traditional one for that's registered dietitians.
Sure.
Get their master's degrees through. And thankfully, I had the support of senior professors and my advisor in looking at ketogenic, because I certainly didn't have the support of the registered dietitians that were in this in my classes. Only a couple of them acknowledged that this was a reasonable thing to be doing. And I'm thinking, what have we got to lose? And they're thinking, you're going outside the bounds of conventional care here. So anyway, so it's just been, so in 2010, I have my degree. I can start to legally practice this, bring this to people. And, my son, unfortunately, he died in 2013. But if you look at the time that we started it, which was the spring of 2007, we had 6 years. There was no way we were going to get 6 years if we had gone the palliative care route. It just wasn't going to happen. So, I don't